welcome back to Whispers of Wisdom, where we explore the beautiful intersection of spirituality and everyday life. I'm your host, Carrie Bandel, and today we're diving into something that feels especially relevant as we watch the world around us begin its gentle shift towards autumn. The sacred pause, honoring life's natural rhythms. You know, as a mother, I've learned that some of life's most profound lessons come from simply watching. I watched as my children discovered the world, watching the seasons change, watching the natural ebb and flow that surrounds us every single day. And what I've noticed is that nature never rushes. Trees don't frantically push their leaves to change color. And flowers don't stress about when to bloom. They simply honor their natural rhythm. But here we are, living in a world that seems to celebrate the hustle, the constant motion, the never ending to do list. When was the last time you gave yourself permission to pause? Not just a coffee break or a quick scroll through your phone, but a true sacred pause. The sacred pause is more than just stopping. It's a conscious choice to align ourselves with the natural rhythms that govern everything from our breathing to the turning of the seasons. It's recognizing that rest isn't laziness. It's a spiritual practice that's been honored by cultures throughout history. From a scientific perspective, we know that our bodies operate on a circadian rhythm, internal clocks that respond to light and darkness. But we also have ultradian rhythms, which are shorter cycles throughout the day where our energy naturally rises and falls. Ancient wisdom traditions have long recognized these patterns, calling them everything from the feminine divine to the breath of the universe. As I'm recording this in late summer, I can already feel autumn whispering at the edges. The light is shifting, becoming more golden. The air carries just a hint of that crisp clarity that makes you want to take deeper breaths. This is nature's masterclass in sacred pause. Think about what trees do in autumn. They don't fight the changing season. They don't try to hold on to their green leaves through sheer willpower. Instead, they begin the beautiful process of letting go, of drawing their energy inward, of preparing for the restorative rest of winter. They trust the rhythm. Research shows that trees actually begin this process weeks before we see the visual changes. They're responding to subtle shifts in daylight, in temperature, in the very quality of the air. They're tuned into rhythms we've largely forgotten how to feel. When we ignore these natural rhythms, when we try to maintain the same energy levels year round, day round, or moon cycle round, even, we create dis-ease in our bodies and our spirits. Chronic fatigue, anxiety, that feeling of being constantly on but never truly productive, these are often signs that we've disconnected from our natural rhythm. I remember talking to a client last month who said, I feel like I'm swimming upstream all the time. And that's exactly what happens when we're fighting our natural rhythms instead of flowing with them. It's exhausting because we're working against the very forces that were designed to support us. From a medical standpoint, we're seeing more research connecting chronic stress and health issues to our disconnection from natural cycles. Seasonal affect disorder, sleep disorders, even digestive issues can often be traced back to ignoring our body's need for rhythm and rest. So, how do we reconnect? How do we honor these natural rhythms in a world that doesn't seem to support them? It starts with small, intentional pauses throughout your day. And here are some suggestions. The breath pause. Several times a day, simply stop and take 3 conscious breaths. Not the shallow breathing we do when we're rushing, but deep, intentional breaths that connect you to this moment. I like to do this when I'm washing dishes, turning a mundane task into a moment of presence. The transition pause. Before moving from one activity to another, pause. Take a moment to acknowledge what you've just completed and set an intention for what you're moving toward. This is especially powerful when coming home from work or before sitting down with family. The seasonal pause. This is where we align with the larger rhythms. As we move into autumn, what would it look like to honor the season's invitation to slow down? Maybe it's choosing candlelight over bright overhead lights in the evening. Maybe it's spending more time in reflection and less time in constant activity. One great way to reconnect with natural rhythms is through lunar cycles. The moon has been humanity's calendar for thousands of years, and for good reason. Its phases mirror the natural rhythm of expansion and contraction that govern all life. The new moon is nature's invitation to pause, to go inward, to plant seeds of intention. The full moon is a time of expansion, completion, release. Following these cycles doesn't mean becoming rigid about timing, but rather becoming aware of the subtle energies that are always available to support us. Now, for those of you who love the science behind the spirituality, and I know many of you do, let's talk about what happens in our brains and bodies when we practice the sacred pause. When we pause intentionally, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, our rest and digest mode. This is when our bodies repair, our minds process, and our spirits integrate the experiences that we've had. It's literally a neurological reset. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that regular pauses throughout the day can improve decision making, creativity, and emotional regulation. It's not just feel good spirituality, it's practical brain science. Dr. Sarah Lazar's research on meditation shows that regular pause practices actually change the structure of our brains, increasing gray matter in areas associated with learning, memory, and emotional regulation. The sacred pause isn't just a spiritual practice, it's a brain changing practice. And now I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds lovely, but I don't have time to pause. I have kids to feed, deadlines to meet, a life that requires constant motion. And believe me, I've been there. As a single mother of 5, I've experienced the feeling of being needed constantly. But here's what I've learned. The sacred pause isn't about adding more to your plate. It's about bringing consciousness to the natural pauses that are already there. The red lights, the moments waiting for the coffee to brew, the quiet moments before everyone else wakes up. And here's the paradox. When we honor the need for pause, we actually become more efficient, more present, and more capable in our active moments. It's like the difference between a car that's been maintained and one that's been driven without ever changing the oil. Which one is going to serve you better in the long run? As we specifically prepare for autumn, let me share some practices that honor this season's particular rhythm. Morning gratitude with sunrise. Even if you're not an early riser, try to catch the sunrise a few times a week. Autumn sunrises have a unique quality. They're teaching us about the beauty of transition. Evening reflection. As the days get shorter, use this natural invitation to turn inward. Spend 10 minutes before bed reflecting on your day, not judging, just noticing. Weekly digital Sabbath. Choose one day a week to significantly reduce your digital consumption. Let your nervous system remember what it feels like to operate at a more natural pace. Monthly nature visits. Once a month, spend at least 20 minutes sitting in nature with no agenda. Just observe. Watch how the natural world around you is honoring its rhythms. When you begin to honor your own natural rhythms, something beautiful happens. It gives others permission to do the same. Your children, your partner, your friends begin to see that it's not only okay to pause, it's sacred. I had a client who started doing 5-minute breathing pauses every morning before her family woke up. Within a month, her teenage daughter asked if she could join her. Now it's become their special time together, a way of starting the day connected to themselves and each other. The sacred pause isn't meant to be another item on your spiritual to do list. It's meant to be woven into the fabric of your everyday life. When you're feeling overwhelmed, instead of pushing through, what if you paused and asked, what rhythm is trying to emerge here? When you're feeling disconnected from your intuition, instead of forcing clarity, what if you paused and listened to the wisdom that's always available in stillness? When you're feeling out of sync with your family or your work, what if you paused and considered what natural rhythm you might be fighting against? At its deepest level, the sacred pause teaches us trust. Trust that the universe has its own rhythm, and we're part of that rhythm, not separate from it. Trust that rest is productive, that slowing down can actually help us move forward more effectively. This is ancient wisdom that's being confirmed by modern science. Our ancestors knew that there were times for planting and times for harvesting, times for activity and times for rest. They built their lives around these rhythms because they understood something we're just beginning to remember. We are not separate from nature. We are nature. As we come to the close of today's episode, I want to leave you with this invitation. For the next week, try to notice the natural pauses that are already present in your day. Don't add anything new, just bring awareness to the moments that are naturally quieter and naturally slower. Notice how your energy shifts throughout the day. Notice how your body feels different in the morning versus the evening. Notice how the changing season is affecting your inner landscape. And remember, the sacred pause isn't about perfection, it's about presence. It's about returning again and again to the rhythm that's always available to support you. If you're feeling called to explore this more deeply or learn more about me, I invite you to visit my website at Sacred Whispers 1111. You may find resources there to support your journey. Next week, we'll be exploring ancestral wisdom in modern times, how the guidance of those who came before us can illuminate our path forward. Until then, may you find moments of sacred pause in your days, and may you trust the rhythm that's always calling you home to yourself. Keep listening to those whispers of wisdom.